enters into and emerges from them. Through the modes, characteristics, and signs of space makes these wholesome roots common to all beings, and dedicates them to full enlightenment, then this is a bodhisattva's perfection of giving. Similarly he acts with regard to the perfections of morality, patience, vigor, and concentration. Moreover, a bodhisattva, coursing in the perfection of wisdom, enters into the 4 trances and the 4 formless attainments. When a bodhisattva dwells through these trances and attainments in the perfection of wisdom, and while entering into and emerging from them attends to the modes, characteristics and signs of space, and coursing in the perfection of wisdom, makes these and other wholesome roots common to all beings, through attentions connected with the knowledge of all modes, and dedicates them to full enlightenment, then this is a bodhisattva's perfection of wisdom. It is thus that a bodhisattva, who courses in the 6 perfections, is called one who has set out in the great vehicle. 8. The 6 perfections. Furthermore, it is the perfection of giving of the bodhisattva if, with his attention centered on the knowledge of all modes, he produces a thought controlled by the great compassion, and thinks, for the sake of the demolition of the defilements will I demonstrate the trances, unlimited and formless attainments to all beings. T is his untarnished perfection of morality if, with his attention centered on the knowledge of all modes, he enters into the trances, and, firmly grounded in them, does not give an opportunity to other productions of thought associated with the disciples and pratyekabuddhas. When it occurs to a bodhisattva who, with his attention centered on the knowledge of all modes, dwells in the trances and formless attainments, that for the purpose of the extinction of the defilements of all beings will I demonstrate dharma, then the enduring of those attentions, the willingness to find pleasure in them, to test and understand them, and to meditate on them, that is a bodhisattva's perfection of patience. It is a bodhisattva's perfection of vigor that, through his attentions connected with the knowledge of all modes, he dedicates all wholesome roots to full enlightenment, and never relaxes his vigor. It is his perfection of concentration that, through his attentions connected with the knowledge of all modes, through his attentions connected with the knowledge of all modes, he enters into the trances and formless attainments, and yet does not apprehend them. It is his perfection of wisdom that he contemplates the limbs of the trances under the aspects of impermanent, ill, not self, etc. 2. Wish less, and yet does not apprehend them. This is the great vehicle of the bodhisattva, the great being. 8. The path. Furthermore, this is the great vehicle of the bodhisattva that, in all their modes, he develops the dharmas which are the 37 wings of enlightenment, the concentrations which are the doors to freedom, emptiness, the signless, the wishless, the 10 powers, the grounds of self-confidence, and the 18 special dharmas of a Buddha. 8. The 4 unlimited. Furthermore, a bodhisattva dwells with a thought connected with friendliness, a thought that is vast, extensive, non-dual, unlimited, free from hostility, rivalry, hindrance, or injury to anyone, extends everywhere and is well cultivated. He radiates friendliness in the 10 directions of the world, which has as its highest development the dharma element, and the space element as its terminus. And so with compassion, sympathetic joy, and impartiality. These are called the 4 unlimited of the bodhisattva, the great being. A bodhisattva enters the concentration on friendliness, and strives to save all beings. He enters the concentration on compassion, and directs pity and compassion towards beings. He enters the concentration on sympathetic joy, and resolves to make beings rejoice. He enters the concentration on impartiality, and extends to beings the extinction of the outflows. This is the perfection of giving of the bodhisattva who courses in the unlimited. When a bodhisattva enters into the modes, characteristics and signs of the trances and unlimited, and emerges from them, and yet does not dedicate the resulting merit to the level of a disciple or pratyekabuddha, but to nothing else than the knowledge of all modes, then this is the untarnished perfection of morality of the bodhisattva who courses in the unlimited. When he dwells in those trances, unlimited, and formless attainments free from contamination, and does not long for the two levels of a disciple or pratyekabuddha, but just the knowledge of all modes seems good to him and pleases him, then this is the perfection of patience of the bodhisattva who courses in the unlimited. If, through the production of thoughts associated with the knowledge of all modes, he dwells as one who perseveres, and forsaking unwholesome and in accomplishing wholesome dharmas, then this is the perfection of vigour of the bodhisattva who courses in the unlimited. If, although he enters into those trances, unlimited, and formless attainments, he does not gain his rebirths through them, does not relish them, is not captivated by them, then this is the perfection of concentration of a bodhisattva who courses in the unlimited. If, with his attention centered on the knowledge of all modes, he enters into the trances, unlimited and formless attainments and emerges from them, and contemplates them under the aspects of impermanence, ill, not self, of quietude, emptiness, signlessness and wishlessness, but does not go forward to the way of salvation of the disciples and pratyekabuddhas, then this is the perfection of wisdom of a bodhisattva who courses in the unlimited. This is the great vehicle of the bodhisattva, the great being. 8. Absence of devotion to a basis. Furthermore, also this is the great vehicle of the bodhisattva, the great being. The cognition of the 18 kinds of emptiness, without taking them as basic facts. That, since his thought is undisturbed in all dharmas, his cognition is concentrated. That his cognition does not proceed through this is permanent, this is impermanent, this is ill, etc. 2. This is wishless. That his cognition does not proceed in the past, future, or present period. In fact, his cognition does not proceed in the 3 periods, and takes nothing as a basic fact. That his cognition does not proceed in the world of sense desire, in the world of form, in the formless world. In fact, he has no cognition of the triple world, and that because nothing can be apprehended in it. That his cognition does not proceed in worldly or supramundane dharmas, in dharmas with or without outflows, in conditioned or unconditioned dharmas. In fact, he has cognition of any of these kinds of dharmas, and that because there is nothing to apprehend. This is the great vehicle of the bodhisattva, the great being. 8. The threefold purity. Mounted on the great vehicle. Sariputra. Through how much, then? Purna, is a bodhisattva called mounted on the great vehicle. Purna. Here a bodhisattva, coursing in perfect wisdom, mounts on the perfection of giving. He does not get at the perfection of giving, or a giver, recipient, or gift, because there is nothing to get at. And so with the perfections of morality, patience, vigor, and concentration. Here a bodhisattva, coursing in perfect wisdom, mounts on the perfection of wisdom. He does not get at the perfection of wisdom, or a bodhisattva, or an act of attention, because there is nothing to get at. 8. The program. Furthermore, a bodhisattva is called mounted on the great vehicle if, through an unmixed production of the thought of the knowledge of all modes, he develops the 37 wings of enlightenment, etc. 2. The 18 special Buddha dharmas, with a development in the sense of annihilation, and that because there is nothing that can be got at. Furthermore, a bodhisattva is called mounted on the great vehicle if he perceives that bodhi being is a mere conventional expression, since no being can be apprehended. In the same way also all dharmas, from form to the Buddha, are mere words, because the reality corresponding to them cannot apprehend it. 8. The 6 super-knowledges. Furthermore, during the entire period from the first thought of enlightenment up to full enlightenment he matures beings and passes on from Buddha field to Buddha field. after he has perfected his super knowledges. In all Buddha fields he treats the Buddhas, the lords with respect, honors, reveres, and worships them. Owing to his suitable worship of those Buddhas and lords and his manner of showing respect, he hears from them the dharma. This great vehicle. Having mounted on the bodhisattva vehicle, he passes on from Buddha field to Buddha field, purifies the Buddha fields, and matures beings. But he has no perception, either of a Buddha field or of a being. After he has stood on the level of non-duality, he acquires at will a personality which enables him to work for the welfare of beings. And, until he reaches the knowledge of all modes, he is never again lacking in this great vehicle. 8. The knowledge of all modes. After he has reached the knowledge of all modes, he turns the wheel of dharma, which cannot be turned by all the disciples and pratyekabuddhas, in the world with its gods, nagas, yakshas, gandharvas, asuras, garudas, kinnaras, mahoragas, and men. In each of the 10 directions. In world systems countless like the sands of the Ganges. The Buddhas and lords declare the fame, proclaim the praise, and reveal the glory of him who has known full enlightenment, and they say of him that in this world system that bodhisattva, after mounting on the great vehicle, has reached the knowledge of all modes and thereafter turned the wheel of dharma. It is thus that a bodhisattva is called mounted on the great vehicle. End chapter 13.